Welcome back to the Guru Code podcast. It's been a while since we've done one of these, and I feel almost like a new girl. It's quite fun. It's quite strange. But it is nice to be back, and to be back with a topic that I know is going to resonate with you. Today we're going to talk about the challenges that are faced by small business owners and how they manage overwhelm. Now, overwhelm was by far the front runner in a poll that I took on one of my social media platforms. So I am really confident that this podcast will have some value in there for you. Even if you're in a good place currently, you know how business goes. It ebbs and it flows. And you didn't know I was a poet, so that's a bonus. But doesn't it? It really does. It literally goes in waves. And one minute you think you're doing fine, and then there's a great tsunami that comes in. So to have something in your back pocket can be really reassuring. It's like having that fiver that's slotted down inside your wallet, inside your purse, in your back pocket. You know, going out just knowing you've got a little bit of cash, you can certainly sort something out in an emergency. And even better, if we can put in a strategy right now that circumnavigates the need to even have overwhelm arise, I mean, we're winning, aren't we? So if we don't know each other yet, because it's terribly rude, because I haven't actually introduced myself, my name's Liz, and I am the proud owner and founder of the Guru Company, where my focus is always about growing you, resourcing you to discover that new performance level and become that powerful, resilient business leader that your business really deserves. So one of the biggest challenges of being in small business and being a small business owner is managing those feelings of overwhelm, drowning in demands, drowning in responsibilities, you know, the weight of that on your shoulders and your own expectations. And I've put that in there because you would be horrified how many of us and how many of my clients actually, when it comes down to it, we realise that a lot of the overwhelm is about the expectations we put on us to be this amazing, perfect person. So it's worth bringing that to your attention. So small business ownership, in my view, is a skill. And it's a skill that can be learnt. You know, it can be really difficult to juggle all those different tasks and continuously learn a new skill. I mean, every day I think I walk into my office and I decide actually, oh, that's a good idea. And I realise I have to learn a piece of technology, learn a way of putting things together. So it's that added pressure. But it's so easy to get bogged down and feel like you haven't got enough time to do everything. And in fact, when it gets to the point where actually you feel you don't have time to do anything, we're in trouble. This is where you are almost in paralysis. That decision making is like being asked to figure out the LinkedIn algorithm. I mean, talk about impossible. But, you know, I know I'm tongue in cheek there and I'm not making light of it, but it can feel that complicated, can't it? And you find yourself making those simplest of tasks so complex and tie yourself into knots that you can so easily become emotional. You have the tears of frustration. I don't know about you, but you know, crying is one thing, but the tears of frustration and irritation that build up, not to mention the crossed words that you can have with a well-meaning member of the family, or maybe even a staff member who walks in and says something that was so innocent, but actually the place you're at, you respond in a not such a positive way. The sleepless nights, you know, that 3 a.m. in the morning where you just can't sleep. Everything is just one big heavy mush in your head. Do I sound like I've been there? I have the t-shirt. It is pressed. It is in the wardrobe. But I have the dancing shoes in the same colourway. You know, I have danced with the overwhelm. I have done that jig. So now, I love how some of my fellow coaches believe that overwhelm is all part and parcel, and we need to accept it, of business ownership. I'm not sure I can fully support that. I really don't. I'm absolutely convinced that anyone who is growing their business, leveraging their performance, will consistently be in the arena of uncertainty. Why? Because that's where growth is. It is on the other side of your comfort zone. So my thoughts and suggestions to you in the very first instance is to become really clear. And clarity is something that we all need, and that's what some of these topics, these suggestions will bring out. But it's that clarity about what you're experiencing will help you separate overwhelm from growth. Because if it is growth and it's and the exploration of new possibilities, we need to be celebrating the adventure. However, if things have stalled and you're feeling buried, then I invite you to consider these 5 suggestions. Okay. My first suggestion is heavily linked to clarity. And what I'm asking you to do is to speak out loud and ask yourself the question, what am I trying to achieve? Now, when you hear yourself, and that's the important thing, you actually hear yourself, you step outside of your own head and listen to the answer that you give yourself. It can have a profound effect on your actions and what you do next. You see, we need you to step outside of that head of yours, because that same thinking that's got you into overwhelm will not get you out of overwhelm. We need you to be saying it aloud, telling the world, the universe, what is it you are trying to achieve. Second suggestion, when you have got your answer, write it down clearly. Write it down. Now, that means that you can then focus specifically on getting to that point. That's how clear and crisp we want this to be. Then the third suggestion is, what are the necessary steps to make this happen? This is where we get to strategy. Strategy is purely a plan that is prioritized, has prioritized steps in it. Write that out. What is it going to take for you to do X, Y, and Z? This is when you become your own coach. When you have your plan or your strategy in place, okay, look at each step in turn. Ask yourself again aloud, am I the only one who needs to do this? You see, we are replaceable for some things. You may not be financially able, and I take that on board, to pay for support. But look at the opportunities for skill swaps or family members. Asking for help is not a weakness. It is a refusal to quit in the face of adversity. Do you have outstanding invoices? I'm going to ask you that because actually a lot of people don't own up to this. Who owes you money? Don't leave money in other people's pockets or on their table. This is business. So have a look at those sorts of things. When it gets to that nitty-gritty point, what are the things that are around you that are so obvious? Then point 5. This is where I'm asking you to put some boundaries in place to protect your time, but not just your time, your health. Learn to decline those things that will take you away from your current priority. You can put things on hold, you can put them on what I call parquet boards, but just start to decline. This is not upsetting people, it is not hurting anybody, it's not letting anybody down. You are absolutely prioritising, and you can get to that at another stage. They can't wait for you. You weren't that important to them. Now, if you found this helpful and you've enjoyed it, so I hope you have, there's so much more that, that we can do to help you. Now, it's one of the reasons why the Business Owners Mastermind Retreat has been created. And this is where you, me, like-minded business owners get together to master these topics and serious topics around here. where we really take it to a personal level for your business. It's in person, it's 4 days, all right? It's 3 nights, it's all inclusive, all immersive. And I want you and other delegates to leave that retreat with a new, powerful, personal and resilient mindset, because that's what we're going to need to keep this world turning, because we do actually keep this world turning as small business owners. So if in 2023, yay, this is your year for growth and transformation, join me. Come in October. All the details are on my website, which will be written under here. Or send me an email. It's liz@theguruco.co.uk, or jump on a call with me and let's see if it's a right fit for you. Let's see honestly and truthfully what we can get for you and your business. That's it. That's it from me. So thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to speaking to you, and I would love to see you in October.